What is happiness and how to experience it as a permanent state? Posted on September 17th, 2011. If you look deeply enough, you will get a sense that happiness is simply a state of being which is free of fear. Since fear is created only in the human brain, you can realize that happiness is the natural state of life, and the only reason a human being does not experience happiness as their constant state is because of the fear-based thoughts of the mind. If you can dissolve fears of the mind, you will experience your natural vibration of happiness, also called Sat Chit Ananda in Hindu scriptures, as your constant state of being. That's the reason why people take drugs, because drugs cause your brain to shut down, thus subduing its fear-based thoughts and commentary, and hence allowing you to experience the joy of your being unhindered and unclouded. But you don't need drugs to be free of the mind's negativity. You can start dissolving its negativity by bringing the light of consciousness and awareness to it. This is the path of freedom. Why is happiness so elusive to many? From the childhood days, the brain develops several patterns of fear-based thinking owing to the fact that we are born into a reality where a lot of negativity is already prevalent. As kids, we see our parents worrying about a lot of things. We see fights in the household and outside. We hear about disasters. We hear about disease, abuse, frauds, violence, and brutality, and see it around us either live or on TV. We are compared and criticized by people around us. We are fed several negative conditioning on God, religion, finance, relationships, etc. We are taught more about scarcity than about abundance. We are asked to follow the path of effort than the path of joy. We are put under the pressure of expectations. The list goes on. Most of us can resonate with the truth that society at large has fed you a lot of fear-based conditioning since your childhood, and it's no wonder that your mind is more prone to fear-based thoughts than thoughts of abundance and wellness. When the mind is carrying so many fear-based thoughts, it's not possible to stay connected with happiness because the vibration of fear is opposite to your natural vibration of happiness. When you have 90% fears, you will have 10% access to happiness. When you have 40% fears, you will have 60% access to happiness. And when you have 10% fears, you will have access to 90% happiness. This is an achievable state of being. The mind, being a survival machine, is bound to have some fears, but it's about how less of fears you are holding in the mind. It's possible for every human to reduce their fears and reach a place where the mind is only holding on to 5 to 10% of fears. I don't like using statistics because there is no way to measure or quantify these things, but I am using it to give you a picture of how the quantity of fears in your mind can be reduced. Fears can be dissolved only through the light of awareness. Anything that you don't bring your awareness to stays rooted as a subconscious vibration in you. It's only when you bring the light of awareness to these deep-rooted patterns of fears that they start ebbing away in force. It's said in many spiritual teachings that the path to liberation goes through the cloud of fear. Everyone who feels free of fears made the conscious journey through the cloud of their fears to emerge on the other side free of them. All that's needed is that you bring your awareness to the fears and stay with it until you see the energy of the fears dissolving. Every time you bring your awareness to the fears in you, it will keep dissolving more and more. To face your fears is not about taking external action, but about bringing a deep awareness to the fears. It will be quite unpleasant when you bring your awareness onto fear-based thoughts within you, because you become starkly aware of its vibration. But it's important to not run away from it and stay put with your awareness. We try to distract ourselves all the time because we are afraid of facing the fears within us. But at some point, it's important to stop distracting ourselves and take the time to stay within, allowing consciousness to touch your fears and thus dissolve it. As fears keep dissolving within you, you will be able to sense the joy of your being on a more regular basis. It's like being able to see sunlight once the clouds start parting. When the momentum of fear-based thoughts ebbs away fully from your mind, you will be able to stay in touch with your natural vibration of happiness for most part of your waking state. Happiness is not just about excitement or rapturous bliss. It's also about peace, calm, contentment, and a sense of completeness. All these are aspects of happiness, which is nothing but a state free of fear.